You have to be thoughtful, especially when you talk to chat, because you don't know where people are at in their day to day. And I do make fun of people a lot, but I try to make fun of them in ways that feel like it kind of plays into the kayfabe of streaming, right? I remember one time, I still feel bad about this. Maybe they're here. I was playing Elden Ring, and it was Shadow of the Erdtree, I think. And someone in chat, we were talking about boots. And someone in chat was like, something like I saved up and I got some. It was in the context of like buying an expensive pair of boots. And they said they'd bought a pair of Doc Martens. And without thinking, I said like, oh, Doc Martens aren't even that expensive a boot. And it took me a few seconds because my thought in my head, I was thinking like by my standards, like they're not that expensive in the scale of boots. But then like I wasn't thinking like, you know, outside of my own head. And then it took me 3 seconds. So I was like, holy shit, I'm really sorry. That was there's nothing wrong with getting Doc Martens. I'm sorry. I was being an asshole. Super shit to say. I just wasn't thinking because I was thinking in the context of like the list that because I was talking about like Vibergs or something. Like, yeah, PNW boots or whatever and I was playing Elden Ring, so I was distracted. But I still feel bad about that now sometimes. I still feel like, because there's nothing wrong with having Doc Martens, okay? Doc Martens look cunty on tons of people. It's great, okay? There are tons of people. I live in Seattle. Plenty of people. I go outside. I see people looking Docs. You know, I wasn't thinking. But I still feel bad. And you were already upset over the barrage of spoilers. Yeah, well, you guys like to do it to me. You mean like paratrooper boots, Flavia, or do you mean those like lace-up boots that go up to your knee, basically? I don't really fuck with those second ones, but paratrooper boots are cool. You'd call that regret and not shame. Regret is more proactive and better. I don't really feel regret or shame because I think that regret, like both of those kind of, I feel like both of those kind of imply that you're dwelling on like an ongoing moral culpability, whereas in my part, it's more like that was a bad thing and I reflect on the feeling that I had at that moment that it was bad, but I'm not right now thinking, you know, I'm bad or like I have an active, I think that's regret. Well, I'd say you shouldn't dwell on those feelings, right? Because it's not really rational of me to just be like going about my day and then like, oh, I said a mean thing 6 months ago. You know what I mean? It's a matter of dwelling on it, I guess. Now, shame, I think, would be like unambiguously counterproductive. Because like, what are you doing with that, really? You know, it's not like what are you doing with that? You're making it about you. So you'd call it remorse. I think there's a lot of semantic overlap between the exact meaning of these terms. I just look, okay, the only thing that I try to stress when I talk about stuff like this is that don't like linger on self-deprecating feelings because it makes it difficult for you to improve as a person, okay? Nobody, like the idea that this like indefinite contrition or like feeling bad about myself is part of the process of getting better. I don't think that's true. I think it's actually the opposite. I think that usually people who tend to feel down on themselves don't progress as people because they're so self-obsessed. They linger on their own negative feelings against themselves. They feel paralyzed. They feel like they don't deserve to do better or feel better, so they kind of like get caught in these negative feedback loops, you know? I'm not saying you should be inconsiderate to negative things you've done. I'm saying you should consider it, resolve those feelings, and then try to improve. You know, like you have to move beyond that. Yeah, no, I feel the opposite. I'm not hard enough on myself. See, the problem with that is that you're lying and you're being performative for people who don't know you on the internet. You don't actually think that's true. If you actually thought that was true, you wouldn't be watching this right now. You'd be doing something more constructive with your day. What you want is an affirmation of the negative feelings you have about yourself, right? Like you're looking for a reification of those things, but I'm not providing them to you. I'm sure you're a fine person, you know? If you want to work harder, work harder. If you don't want to, don't. That's all you can really do about it, right? You know, you're not hard enough on yourself. It's not about being hard on yourself. I've done a lot of self-improvement at various points in my life in a lot of ways. And no point was it about being hard on myself, right? Like that wasn't really the point. What it was acknowledging what I wanted to change, trying to discover what method of changing myself worked best within my schedule and my lifestyle and what I enjoy doing, and then trying to be consistent with that. You know? I try. That's the best we can all do. Of course, fawn over fun. This is part of why therapy is often more about a person talking at the therapist. Yeah, I don't really know. I know that like cock and ball torture is like that's like the main avenue by which therapists tend to engage with their clients these days. I don't really know like to what extent. CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. It's part of DEI. I believe it. Vosh isn't a psychiatrist, folks. Every time I offer my opinion on something, there's a person who like rushes to the soapbox to remind people that I don't have a degree in the subject I'm talking about. Shouldn't that be assumed? Like, is that not like I don't think that I speak with the tone or the like pompous perceived authority to mislead people into thinking that I'm an expert in the subjects that I talk about. I'm just a guy, man. I have a bachelor's degree in sociology and a minor in communications. That's the extent of my official, licensed knowledge or whatever. Beyond that, I'm just offering my opinion. Literally last stream, I was saying like, if you want to lose weight, like, here's what you can do or whatever. And there was someone in chat who was like, folks, don't listen to Vosh. He's not a trained nutritionist or whatever. Be sure to talk to a doctor if you want to lose weight or something like that. And it's like, I don't know, maybe. I guess it kind of depends. I feel like most people probably don't need to talk to a doctor to lose weight, right? Maybe some people do. It kind of depends on, like, what state you're in. I bet most people here don't. You have the tone, but it's not your fault. I don't think I have that tone, though. I just think that I talk, like, confidently. I'm not trying to talk authoritatively. I try to pepper, like, I'm talking about my opinion here, but look, I think most therapists would agree with me that you shouldn't, like, self-debase all the time, at the very least. Yeah, I'm not saying that talking to a nutritionist is bad at all. Doctors don't even get educated in nutrition. Dude, okay, actually, I'll take a shot at doctors, okay? Don't talk to doctors about losing weight because they give shit advice. There is so much, like, medicalized fat phobia, all right? And it's getting corrected a little bit now, okay? I'm not saying that doctors are stupid, but some of them are. It's not about fat doctors. It's like you go to a doctor because you're having ankle pain, and they're like, well, have you considered losing weight, fatso? This happens a lot to fat people. You know what I mean? This happens a lot to fat people. It's like, well, have you considered losing weight? And the fat person is like, yes, I have considered that, but I'm still fat right now, and the ankle still hurts. Can we do something about that? It's like, well, lose 15 pounds, then talk to me. What do you mean? That's not the problem here. Also, how do I lose weight when my ankle hurts? Like, that kind of gets in the way of losing weight. At the very least, it impedes me. It makes it more difficult. I think people have a knee-jerk reaction to a lot of your takes just because you're very Reddit. You can't do that. You can't insult me and just walk off like that. You think that because you've scrolled to the top of the screen that you're free, you're safe? I have access to site commands you couldn't even imagine. I'm very Reddit? What do you can't just call everything you don't like, or maybe you do like, I don't know, Reddit? What does that even mean? Reddit is like the last remaining not Nazi social media site. So maybe it's a compliment. You say you're a Reddit atheist? Yeah, well, I'm not talking about religion right now. They say I'm Reddit because I've got beard and glasses, by the way. That's the reason why. I know what you people are like. But you have the gay glasses? I need more glasses. I really like this pair, but I want to experiment with some more.
I'd like to apologize to you people. I was invited here to give my support for Bill 401. I have very little...
Listen, okay? If this man is 100 years old and actively dying, and he can show up to community meetings to voice his opinions about municipal and state legislation, you can too. Just to be clear. Oh, I'm busy. No, you're not. You have 2 errands to run today. You have to go to the grocery store, and you have to take out the trash, which isn't even an errand, really. And you don't even need to go to the grocery store. You have rice, okay? You can make time for this.
Knowledge of gay people.
I mean, he's retired. Yeah, but he also, like, his bones creak every time he breathes, okay?
Things like that there. So when I came here, my eyes were open. I was one of the critics that sat on the side and made the decisions. There was only 2 genders. So I got an education that was unbelievable.
No, you don't understand. I don't have time to attend my local town hall meeting to voice support for a policy that I like, because I have a phone call that I need to make at 6 p.m. and it's 2:37 p.m. right now, and I have to spend the next 3 hours like being anxious about the phone call I have to make at 6 p.m. You don't understand. I'm very busy. I can't just pop in and pop out or whatever. I can't just, like, go there and do the thing. I have to, like, be here and think about it while trying to distract myself from it by, like, playing games or doing other chores or whatever, but it's all that's on my mind. And then when the call happens, it's 2 minutes long. No, I get it. You guys are busy.
And I don't know just exactly how to say this, but my perspective for people have changed. So I don't take up no more of your time. I'd like to apologize for being here, and I learned a very lot about this group of people.
Oh, well, I think that's delightful. I think that's quite nice. You can't go to your local town hall. Do you want kind old people like the guy in the video to be alone when defending gay rights? Yeah, you need to go there to support this man, okay? You think you're out there to fight him? No, no, no. You're out there to stand arm in arm with him, you know? He'll watch Fox News the next day and change his mind again. You know, I don't actually think that's true. I really do think that for the most part, once you like kind of shatter the veil, it's really difficult to be pulled back. You know, I don't really think that's true. First of all, this guy could die like any day. So, like, maybe given enough time, there'd be a risk, but he's only got so much time. But also, you know, I just like there's a reason why so much conservative. Okay, have you ever noticed that leftist or left-leaning propaganda involves showing you a lot of your opposition because they're evil, whereas fascist propaganda involves a lot of caricaturizing the opposition. So on the right, they talk about imaginary cartoon versions of trans people. You know, they talk about made up fantasy versions. Whereas on the left, you just show a Nazi. Like you don't have to make up a Nazi. The Nazis on their own are about as evil as you can get. You don't need to fake that. They're right there. It's like their interaction with feminists is like big red or whatever. Like they don't engage with reality. Once you shatter that veil, like the whole point is to keep those people from ever sympathizing, which is why you hear so many stories, by the way, of these like edgy like 12, 13, 14-year-olds who are like, you know, fascists, or they think that trans people are degenerate or gross or pedophiles or whatever, and then they like befriend someone on Discord who is themselves trans, and they're like, and that's like their coming over moment or whatever, because it's like the veil's been broken, you know? Oh, now I've directly interacted with one of these people. It turns out that they're not evil or pedophiles. They're just like really annoying on social media. That's fine. That's okay. Lots of people are. It's fine. I'm annoying. That's kind of what happened to me. Yeah, no, it happened. Yeah, no, for sure. But how often does the opposite happen? A person who's only a leftist because they're being exposed to caricatures of Nazis that make them look worse than they really are, but then they meet a real Nazi and they're like, oh, you're actually totally fine. And then they move over to the right. When does that's literally like, it sounds ridiculous to even say it. Like, oh yeah, it's fantasy world. No. Sounds like what happened to Anna. What happened to Anna was a very unfortunate and traumatizing, like, peek at her bank account balance, okay? You can't count these pundits. I'm talking about real people here, not these dishonest demons who lie for clout. Like you? Yeah, like me. Dishonest demons who lie for clout. Exactly. Exactly. Isn't that what people who left the left say? Yeah, but the key thing to keep in mind is that those people are all liars. I know that sounds like an oversimplification, but they are. Like, there's a reason why people who left the left are always pundits who grift off of it and lie constantly. Like, verifiably lie. Like, you know they're lying. They contradict themselves all the time. They're paid liars. They get paid to lie. It is a bit they play. It's an archetype. It's a caricature they play. It's not a real thing. It's not like an actual say. The idea of like a person who was hateful until they met a member of the minority group they hated and then they develop empathy, that's not a bit that gets played for dishonest. That's not like a caricature that gets trotted out for money. That's just a thing that happens to hundreds of thousands of people, maybe millions every year. That's not a grift. That's just a thing that happens. The left thing, entirely a grift. Always has been. It's a joke. As MRA myself, this has happened to me. I'm very kind. A lot of people get shocked with my political opinions because they associate MRAs with women rapists or something. That's true, man. You'll convert all of us to MRAs soon. You know, the real like men's rights advocates are third wave feminists. Like, easy and clear, right? You seen what MRAs are on about, or like what the right is on about with regards to like advocacy for men? And it's like, I guess the way for men to be happy is to be like unfeeling, unthinking, you know, austerity tanking monsters who exist to work and fight in wars or something. I don't know, man. What if I want to buy nice clothes?